Wow, everything inside here is just monochrome yellow. There's no color. This is an awesome light, but it almost looks like my entire room is in sepia right now. Alright, so I have this sodium vapor light that I got from a broken street light, as well as I have the transformer, the starter, and the capacitor. So I have all the parts to make the sodium vapor light work, and I thought I would make it into a really cool lamp for a room. Now I know it's this kind of orangish color that's not as appealing as the white of most lights, but I still really like the glow of orange. I also have this really cool thing that I made in a previous video with my Tesla coil, and it's basically this piece of PVC pipe that has lightning etched into it with the high voltage of a Tesla coil. And I thought it would look really cool to have this be the lamp holder, and then go inside there. So let's build this thing. A really cool lamp.
Tanner, check, Tanner, check, Tanner, Tanner, check, Tanner, check, Tanner. Hello, this is Tanner Tech.
I'm going to start by securing this transformer to this wooden block. Ooh, that's not good. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make room for this cool plastic pipe to sit on top. And I'm going to have this cut in the front facing forward. And then I'm going to take this little thing, this little L bracket, and stick it in the back to hold this thing up. So that way it looks something like this. I think that looks pretty cool. Actually, I may do it the other way. No, this way looks cool. Then I'll put the switch and an off switch right here. So I got to drill some holes in the back. I also got to cut out a little chunk right here in order for these wires to all go into the pipe. Because I'm going to be hiding the ballast and the capacitor inside the pipe. Alright, that looks good. We have a hole in the side for all the wires to go in, as well as a bracket mounted to the side that should hold this thing securely into place once it's on this thing. That looks cool to me. Now it's time to wire up the light. I'm just going to use some wire nuts to wire up the light wires to this thing. I'm going to follow the schematic on the side of the transformer. Now I have to very carefully stuff all of this stuff into the light holder. Fun. Wow, it looks really good. All the wires fit perfectly inside there. It looks almost as if nothing is going in there at all. Wow. That looks pretty cool. Now all that's left is to take these wires that go to the power and connect those to a switch and then connect those to wall AC power. This is where the power cord will be attached at. Alright, now the final step is to solder and glue on the switch. I don't have any place for the switch to attach, so we'll just have to glue it on. It's always important to tin wires before soldering them. Alright, so this thing looks awesome. As you can see, everything looks super neat down there. All the wires are neatly put away. And if I turn it around, you can see that the switch is on the side, readily accessible for anybody who wants to turn it on or off. It is secured in place, and even around the back, everything looks very nice. Alright, so the power cord comes in from the wall, goes into the switch, and then the power comes out and goes to the power input to the transformer, and all the wires from the transformer go into here, where the capacitor and ballast are that power the light. Alright, I am super stoked to see how this thing looks. It's off right now. Let's plug it into the Variac. Let's turn it on. Nothing's happening. Alright, so this isn't working. I'm not sure why. I can't get it to turn on. Funny thing is, I got it to turn on perfectly fine, probably yesterday. Nothing changed except that it kind of got rattled around maybe a little bit. I don't know. We're gonna keep trying to get this light to light up. This thing will look really cool when it does work. Alrighty, I think I've solved the problem because now... Well, what I did is I reversed the polarity of these wires, and nothing happened. Then I cranked up the voltage ever so slightly, and it starts lighting up, which is perfect. So that means I just gotta go back and stuff all this stuff in here, and re-hot glue it and put it back together. A little bit of a pain, but at least it works now. It's time to give it another go. Let's see. Ready? Here we go. Oh, yes. It takes a little bit to warm up, but it's working. Alright, so it's really bright right now, and as you can see, it's like a bright blue light, and that's UV light, and it's not good for you. So this is the stage of warming up where it's just heating up the mercury vapor inside the light, and the mercury vapor inside there is glowing that bad color. But as soon as it heats up, and then the sodium vapor vaporizes inside there and starts taking effect, it's going to take on a brilliant orange hue. Now, sodium vapor lights are one of the most powerful lights out there, actually. It's pretty interesting. As you can see, my whole room's lit up with this bright orange glow. Now, there is an issue with sodium vapor lights that is kind of interesting, and that's that it blocks out most of the color, because all the wavelengths that come out of the sodium vapor light are within a tiny section of the electromagnetic spectrum. Whereas white light covers a large area of the electromagnetic spectrum, sodium vapor light covers a small area. And so only a little bit of that sodium vapor light is able to show color, and it makes a lot of things seem monochrome. Alright, so sorry about this transformer being upside down. Let me explain this a little bit to you. So we have a capacitor, a lamp, this transformer, and we have this thing called an igniter or a sparker. So what happens is when the sodium vapor light needs to start up, it will have this igniter that will generate a very high voltage spark. And that creates this big spark across the tube of sodium vapor, this big arc. And that arc is the kind of bright white thing that you saw in the beginning of the lamp starting up. And once that arc hits, then it's able to start conducting because it ionizes the gas inside there. So nothing will conduct until that gas is ionized by the sparker. Now the reason that there's this big thing right here, this big transformer, is to act as a ballast. Now the reason you need a ballast of this transformer is because sodium vapor lights operate in something called the negative resistance region. And that means that they have negative resistance. As the voltage rises, the current falls, and as the voltage falls, the current rises. It's opposite of normal resistors. That means that this thing needs to have a ballast on it to keep it from going into infinite current. Alright, now the reason this capacitor here is it's acting as something called a power factor correction capacitor. Because in setups such as this high intensity discharge lighting that uses a magnetic balance transformer, some current that's flowing into this transformer is being used to power the light bulb, but some current is just being used to generate the electromagnetic flux in the transformer. And that means that not all the current being drawn by this circuit is being used for a useful purpose without this capacitor in place. So basically, by putting the capacitor in place, you move the voltage and current waves more closely to be in phase. Because when they're farther out of phase, that means that there is a very bad power factor. So this capacitor brings those two phases closer to each other and brings the phase difference closer to zero and makes this light bulb overall more efficient. Alright, turning off the light. As you can see, it glows red for a while. It's a hot light.